Hey, Meghann, Scully, and this is Limerick Post Show, and joining me now from Raging Suns, it's Adam and Fintan. How are you, lads?
Good,
How
good.
are you?
How are you?
I'm not too bad, sure. Look, we've gotten some big news this week, so I think, we're all just a little bit like, we're all a bit in the same boat here, just trying to, I think, just get on with things, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough now for another 6 weeks, I suppose. But sure, look, we've been here before, so get heads down and watch some TV and listen to some music, I suppose.
I think
Yeah,
everyone is already.
I was chatting to some friends about it, and some friends said to me, they're like, I wish I kind of did things different on the first lockdown. They're like, I feel like I didn't make the most of the time. So now I've had friends and they're like, right, like my housemates, it's like, let's plan out the next few weeks. Like, let's all decide that what we're going to do. So we've all these great intentions of doing yoga every day and like doing exercise classes inside in the living room. But I'm like, like, it sounds like a great idea, but I'm like, I don't know, like, will we actually do it? That's the other thing.
Yeah, that sounds
Have
like
you
something
any?
we could.
We should start a yoga.
Yeah, Raging Suns
We'd
yoga.
be really good at yoga. We could live stream it. Should pack in the music. Like, definitely an audience.
That could catch on, I'd say.
Or, do you know what? You might be on something here now. You never really usually put rock music and yoga together, but you know what? Anything can happen, I feel, these days.
Yeah. We could play the
Raging
music.
lycra.
Yeah.
Look, we'll all tune in for it. Bring us back, though, for those who don't know Raging Suns. Bring us back to the start and how you were founded.
The start, she's so long ago. It's probably 2000 and was it 13? No, 2012, I think. 2013. So basically, I would have always played a bit of music myself, and I suppose in Limerick, it's kind of hard to find band members and stuff, So myself and my cousin Damien kind of got together and we were just messing about and put the word out that we're looking for members. And to be honest, we've gone through 5 drummers, I think, since the start, but we've kind of kept the core from day one. So myself, Damien, and Cullum kind of started it all off, and it was going really well for the first few years, and we done some stuff on Today FM, and actually you were for that, weren't you?
Yeah, I came in just before Today FM. Yeah.
But we done some big live gigs, like we supported some big names around. But to be honest, like we probably weren't taking it as seriously as we should have. Because we were getting these like great opportunities and stuff, but didn't really kind of capitalize on them. But in the last maybe 4 years, I think since Adam came on board, now it's kind of taken us to another level where we're kind of taking it a little bit more seriously. So we've got this album coming out next year, and we're really kind of pushing it on. So it's kind of for the first few years, it was like, oh, it's a bit of a hobby and a bit of crack, and it's hanging out with the lads and playing a bit of music. Whereas I suppose the last year and a half, we kind of said to ourselves, look, we're going to take it a bit more seriously. We're going to record some good music. We're writing some good music, and the plan is now for an album next year. And to us, it's our debut release. Like, we've released stuff in the past, but maybe we weren't as proud of it as we could have been if we put more time into it. But now it's kind of like we feel like we're really recording some really good stuff, So it's kind of onwards and upwards in our heads. So that's kind of it, I suppose, in a nutshell, a big nutshell.
Talk to us about the new single tonight.
Go for it.
Yeah, it was a step away, I guess, from the stuff we were normally doing. I think it was the song that when we all got into the room and we kind of jammed it out over a few hours, we thought, okay, look, there's something in this that's not starkly different, but it's definitely on the nose of where we want to be and what we want to sound like. So super exciting. We recorded it last December.
Yeah. It started.
Yeah, it started last December, and then I guess with lockdown and that, I think it was, as a song, it was like almost like a light at the end of the tunnel, looking to get this release and that. And then we wrote some more songs at the back of it that fit really well with it. But yeah, we were super excited about releasing it. We're delighted with the video for it. Can't wait to play it live. It's the one sickener, I guess, about releasing music during lockdown, that there's no, I think every band, when they release music or start a band even, is with the view to like getting on stage and having that energy, that it's tough now to release something into the void almost, and there's no feedback loop of playing that live and getting to see people react to it. But it is what it is, I guess. That's 2020 for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go back to March then, when the news started rolling in about this lockdown coming in and playing together. Like, was it like, had you plans? Like, had you loads of stuff in place for the year, or what was kind of I suppose, in the pipeline?
Yeah, well, I suppose we started, like Adam said, we started recording last December with the idea of maybe putting it out in, like, we went from May to June to July to August, so it was kind of ready to go. But in a way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because we're kind of famous in a way in our own heads for rushing things, trying to get stuff out, because like, oh, it's here, we have to get it out, and people have to hear this. But the time that it took for us to kind of release it in the long run, we kind of went back and revisited some things, and we tweaked some things, and like we got, I don't know, 20 different mixes of the song before we actually decided on the final mix. So we actually didn't we had no real set plan, but it was like we get it out as soon as we could. But then when lockdown came in, we said we'll put it off and see how it goes. But sure, no one could tell you when it was going to lift or where things were going to go. So it was kind of like play it by ear kind of type thing. So we kind of debated about it between ourselves in a way, like I said a while ago, we put it out now because people will be online and people will be able to listen to it. But then it was like the whole, we won't be able to gig it. So we're like, Joe, one good against one bad kind of thing, but sure, look, we're in the same boat now. So we kind of thought putting it off till October would be a good idea, that we might be able to get, because you can kind of see like places like Dolan's and places around Limerick, we're bringing people back in for gigs, and we're saying lovely stuff. We'd be able to do some sort of gig or some sort of live show, but now that's been knocked back again for at least another 6 weeks. You'd imagine, you probably think it's going to go into next year. Like when we did put it out, it's kind of the long game we're looking at anyways. Like the idea was we wanted to do the usual circuit, but we wanted to focus on festivals for next summer. So maybe that's still going to go ahead, but again, who knows? Like, we could be sitting here next year on another lockdown and planning for 2022, So.
Oh, I hope to God we're all getting ready to go to festivals with our
bring it down or anything
all our tents and everything. I think if festivals weren't to go ahead next summer, I think we're all just going to have to go into fields and get onto the farmers that we know and be like, look, just let a few of us in, please. You need to recreate something. But sure, I suppose, like, does it help knowing that like everyone's in the same boat, being an artist, release music? Like there's one Friday there, I think it was 2 or 3 Fridays ago, 100 Irish acts released songs on the one Friday. So it just shows like everyone, like loads of people are doing it, loads of people are producing loads of music, loads of people are releasing it, and like, so I suppose, and everyone's probably in the same boat. It's like you release it, people hear it, and then you just want to get on that stage. But like, has it kind of like, have you found solace knowing that you're all in the same boat, or how's it been?
Yeah, I mean, it's inspiring to see the work people have put in, especially since the start of lockdown, when musicians doing the lockdown sessions and kind of collabing with Zoom sessions and stuff. I think for an industry that could have stepped back and really kind of drowned their sorrows, everyone kicked it up a gear and collaborated on stuff, and we're putting out that extra music. So there's a fantastic energy around the Irish music scene. Because of this, I guess no one's going to taking it lying down, which is really great. So I think everyone is on that, riding the same wave in terms of like getting stuff done, getting back to the studio as much as you can, writing and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's certainly been as positive as it could have been for the last couple of months.
Yeah,
the other thing as well is like, just as you're saying, that is, you see a lot of bands kind of helping each other out as well. Like a lot of bands kind of like you said, collaborating and all that, which is something that you wouldn't really see a whole lot of in the past, because people kind of tend to stick to their own kind of thing. Oh, this is my baby, I'm going to look after myself kind of thing. Not that we're all selfish individuals or anything, but it's kind of brought people closer together. And not only in music, I think in all walks of life, I think people are kind of become more close because they lack that kind of companionship maybe, or that kind of having people around. When you're locked down for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you kind of, it's nice to have someone to talk to, I suppose, or to work with or to collaborate with, so it's in a way, it's kind of a positive thing. I think it gives people a different outlook on life now and maybe the future as well,
Absolutely. And how do you lads find it, when the time, like, let's say we were all apart, like, were you constantly on Zooms, or was it like constant WhatsApp groups, or how was it, how are you kind of like collaborating and working together?
We hated Zoom calls.
It
was like we'd have one scheduled like for Monday evening, and you guaranteed like half an hour beforehand someone's going to pull out, and it was like that for about 3 weeks. Like, none of it was natural.
Yeah.
But I think now it's second nature getting
Yeah.
on the Zoom call for everyone. Like, it's bizarre. But yeah, we were lucky. I guess we had a bulk of material recorded that we were able to kind of remotely mix, I guess, and remotely produce, which was a godsend really to start the lockdown when people were starved of any kind of creative outlet or any input. It was fantastic to be able to have that, and we were super grateful to have something like that to keep us taking over. We were really fortunate to be in that position. And yeah, I think it was just making the most of it. I think it's hugely important, or it's not hugely important. It is hugely important. It is hugely important, I think, to accept that there has to be some form of acceptance for what we have here. I think that everyone is in this together, that we could all sit back and we could all go, this is so awful and this is going to let it take a toll on us. But I think a little bit of acceptance and looking at the positives of what we have here, whether it's being with your family or having more time with your dog or having more time to get out and walk, I think that's super important as we go into a winter here. And it was the same attitude that we were lucky to have at the start of this lockdown. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's funny you say, like, you're talking there coming into winter. Like, I actually, this is really random, but I actually enjoy running in the rain. I don't know why. I actually prefer it. So I'm like, right, when it's raining now, I'm gonna have to try and make myself go out for a run because it's like I enjoy it. So it's like, yeah, just trying to find the positives and try and do things right. And I think that's why a lot of people this time in lockdown are kind of trying to prepare to do something. I think maybe the last one, you see, we didn't know how long it was going to be. Do you remember it was like 2 weeks? 2 more weeks,
Yeah.
2 more weeks. So you're kind of constantly being like, okay, what's happening? Whereas now we know we've 6 weeks. So it's like, right, we've 6 weeks, let's do something and make it count. And I think as well, we're going to have a lot more music being produced. And as you said, at the start of the first lockdown, everyone was like, wait, how do we use Zoom? And like, I even found with this, like, I was like, oh, we do a Zoom interview, and people are like, don't have Zoom. And then, whereas now people are like, hey, we've got Zoom, we've got a microphone, we've got this. And it's like, great. So it's like, it's been brilliant. So I think now come 2021 or whenever we can get out of this again, like, there's just going to be so many gigs to go to. But I think the good thing is everyone's going to turn up because, you know, as gig goers, we are starved of gigs as well. So I think, like, that's the good thing. I think everyone is just going to be swarming into Dolan's and to all the venues around Ireland just because we need that sense. And I think there's a bit of hope when you look at somewhere like New Zealand. I don't know if you see the weekend of all the gigs, and it's like, oh my God, that's actually happening. So that can be us. That will be us.
Yeah, for sure.
And lads, where can we find you on social media to keep up to date with all things Raging Suns?
I think we're at Raging Suns on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
nice and simple.
I do want to talk about the music video, actually. I was watching that as well. Talk to us a bit about that.
You talk to us about it. What do you think of it?
I thought it was beautiful. I was trying to figure out the far. It's not Cratlow Woods, is it?
It is Cratlow, yeah.
Oh, yes! I was right.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I was looking going, I think it's Cratlow because I've walked that quite a lot. And I was like, and then I was thinking, probably haven't ventured too far at the moment. So I was like, hoping it was Cratlow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really proud of myself now. I'm going to send that.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of it as well, aren't we? In fairness,
Yeah,
like, sure. I think it turned out great. Shout out to Shane Serrano and crew.ie. Yeah. So everyone in Limerick knows Shane. So he done a great job. And we actually shot our second music video, luckily enough, last weekend, the weekend just passed. So just before lockdown. So it was a good thing we got it in. So that'll be coming at you in a few weeks' time as well. So, and it's kind of like a little, well, we won't say too much.
Yeah, no, I'll have to guess what it is.
Yeah. It's linked. We'll say it's linked to the first video. So.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. Okay, great. Because I watched the first one and I was like, oh, but then I was like, I'm glad I got that right now because I should know it because I do go there quite a bit because it's close to me and it's such a nice spot as well.
Yeah.
Well, Adam and Fintan, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. And I said the single is out now tonight, and I not tonight, it is called Tonight, and I absolutely love it, and I love the sound, and I just cannot wait to see you guys live because I love a band. I love like instruments. I love that big band feel as well. So I'd have to say, like, see you and hopefully in Dolan's pretty soon.
Absolutely.
Cheers, Meghann. Thanks a million.